Hi, everybody, and welcome to an episode of the Classic Quest where Lindell has paid us in advance so that you know that this is for money, so that you don't beat me up in the comments as we talk about Sade's album Diamond Life. I don't even know if I said that right. I did put the effort into knowing it's not Sade. I think it's Sade or something. My bad for reals. It's like you know when you go out till real late several days in a row, and then the next day you're dead, and then the day after you're only half dead. That's where the fuck I'm at right now, everybody out there on the internet. So I'm just letting you know. My name is Holden Stephan Roy. Welcome to the Sade Hungover album review.
What up, guys? It's Chris Chrome. That's it.
Yeah. So we are here today and doing the show that we do live on Twitch Sunday afternoons with this stupid time change. It's a discombobulated day. And we're going to go through all the songs where you can listen to them live on the Twitch with us. And then when you see this on YouTube after and go, where are the songs? You guys are crap. Well, it's because of YouTube copyright laws, broskies. I got a strike one time and it scared me. It is what it is. On that note, we like to start off our show describing to y'all our familiarity with the artists that we speak about ahead of time so that you, probable super fan of Sade or somebody that cares enough to watch a lengthy video looking at this project, I assume you have nostalgic lens coming here. You love this a lot. It maybe has been the soundtrack to a lot of sex in your life or has helped you get sex in your life, and props to you. So I feel like it's fair that we share our parts. So Chris, how much do you know about Sade ahead of time?
Absolutely nothing.
Same.
It was, it was. Hey, Lindell wants us to review this album, and then I saw that it was from like 1980 something, and I went, "Oh, this is going to
Like
be
this could
fun."
have been the soundtrack to my conception. Not playing. Like my
No,
parents could have been
straight,
fucking the smooth
straight.
operator, and then I came from that. Like, let's just be real with where we at with this.
But no, I don't have like any prior knowledge to before reviewing it. Didn't even know who the artist was. Um, and then that's it. It was a blind entry. This is the first time fully getting to know the artist and the album.
It's another time. I mean, I have heard a couple of the songs like once we went through the project, so I guess I am somewhat aware of her, but I can say I've never gone out of my way to listen to one of her songs in my life. I'm not saying that to be dismissive. I actually really am impressed with the quality of the music. For those of you coming through, it's not like that. It's just y'all need to know this is so far out of my like comfort zone and what I would ever listen to vibes. Like I'm on some like drill punk BPMs and energies, and I'm gonna say this is not that energy at all. However, let's say I met a fine little shorty one day and I'm trying to impress her. I'd bring her to this way faster than a lot of other things because there's some love making energy on this project. On that note, I don't have much more else to really comment coming into this project. What do you feel about the cover and the title?
I think it's pretty just simple in my opinion. I didn't really get. I thought like in terms of Diamond Life, it was gonna be like this lavish, rich life and kind of like celebrity and money driven, just because Diamond Life. But besides that, it's pretty simple. It's just Sade and she's there and she
Yo, it
kind of
just
just
fucking screams 1980s at me.
yeah, like it's just really simple and plain.
With that like
Um,
color graded picture where she looks like it's a
yeah,
glam shot. I don't
yeah.
know what she's holding, but the world just hers, bros. I mean, maybe they were gonna like Photoshop a fat diamond there, and they decided against it.
Or she's like reaching out. Now that I've
Is this
gone
the
through the
actual
album, it could
album
be like
cover though?
reaching.
Like, are we just like off? Let's make sure this is
This
the
seems
right
to
album.
be the one that's on Spotify at least.
Life album cover. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, it is. It's just this picture. Damn, eh? We're in a much better era of album covers, in my opinion. This feels like they're trying to put it on teenage boys' walls. I know it's gonna sound weird because like those eyes be giving you like an energy. You know what I mean? Like they
Mm,
definitely sold that cover like
mm,
on her face so that like boys were like, I want to hit that, I gotta own that. I'm pretty sure that happened.
Yeah, yeah, I want to own that kind of feel because she does have this like take me type of eyes.
Mm.
Like she
Or like
looks like helpless and like giving herself to whatever we're about to get. So
that's what it is. Um,
that's just what it be.
yeah, again, not my forte, this whole genre. And I'm like 80s aversive. It's been brought to my attention. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's what my parents fucked with. But, like, the 80s is just my weakest era of all of the eras that I ever listened to. 70s, not my favorite either. So, bear with me. I'm coming into this with all the open mindedness your boy know how to muster with years and years of album review experience. I'm not a smooth operator, though. Joining me tonight, we have Chris Chrome, a smooth operator in Montreal, here to share his opinions on a song.
Oh man. Okay. So what I liked about this song is the way she's starting off the project. Kind of like how it doesn't seem like she's the one involved in the situation. She's looking at it from like an outside point of view and viewing whatever is happening around. Clearly, Sade is um explaining how there's this guy and he's pretty much just a little playboy and he's running around and just making making people happy, making people happy and being all nice and sweet and shit. And I feel like this is really just the setup of the project. This is kind of like the theme that we're going to be getting. Um, and I feel like she did a really great job giving us like what like where we're like a good starting point essentially. I like the song, to be fair. Like I think it's really smooth. The way she does the chorus and like she kind of sings like smooth operator, I think is really dope. I like just the storytelling through it. It's pretty smooth. It's not actually that hard to get into. I felt like the intro of the song was, I like that little boppy jazzy feel to it. Like that was kind of also really nice, easy getting into. So I was like, okay, this wasn't like something heavy to digest. Um, but like it for me, it was really just kind of self-explanatory. Like you see, dude, he's like loved by all these different women. He's clearly like a slick talker. He's clearly somebody who knows how to like make you feel good and be happy and all this shit. And it really is just kind of that, like just setting up like this is the character we're gonna be following
Yeah,
through
that's a
the story.
fact. It is a setup for a character.
So, I thought it was cool. I mean, I can relate, and it kind of has this like essence
Crispy
of,
hitting me with the Sade's judging me. Sade's
bro. I got
judging
yelled
me.
at. I got yelled at for 45 minutes. Okay, this whole project is just like me
Sade's
getting a
making me
fucking
feel bad
lecture.
about myself. Oh, this is what women be feeling.
Oh, so this is what I do. Oh, great. I'm gonna hate this whole fucking review.
Can I just,
Anyway,
so
it's cool though. Like it's still a good thing. I actually put it at 4.5 on 5. I thought it was actually pretty solid.
this
Like to
song
start off
is
the project and get it going. Like yeah, it's a 4.5 on 5.
like, listen, the first time I listened to this whole project, I was like, oh, I don't know if I fucks with this at all. But it's often like that when you listen to stuff outside your comfort zone. But then as I listened to it more, I realized that like this band behind her is so tight. Like they are jamming at like this level where you can almost feel the hours and hours and hours of just working this groove and this vibe and this synergy between the instruments to like this perfection where they can really just run these 5-6 minute experiences and layer it in such a way where it's intoxicating. Like I'm a sucker for the bass lines on these kinds of joints. So I really like what the bassist does here to kind of just give you something to move with. You can almost just picture wanting to grab a girl and slow dance or, do some high school shit or I don't know. I mean, this is less bump and grind and more like, I guess, classy and romantic dancing or
This
something.
is
Like
like
we
I
elevating
see
the.
you. I see you on the other side of the
Like
room
I
type
feel
shit.
like listening to this makes me appreciate why some people be wanting some classic dance moments and shit. Like, oh, right, yeah, this whole
No,
vibe is more like
bro.
tuxedo and fancy dress than it is like mini skirt and booty on penis. Um, you know what I mean? Like,
I just want to like
it's
hold your
different.
waist and just
And then
sway,
like, don't
sway.
get me wrong, when that's said and done, all the bumping and grinding will go on. But this is just like big seduction music. Like, we gonna take our time with this shotty. We gonna ride the wave, which is, I guess, why it's some smooth operator music. Because you can almost feel like the beat is literally designed to get people fucking. Everything about this song almost feels like you gonna fuck after you put this shit on. And I was like, damn, there's like not, and it's not like on some like sleazy shit. It's more like, yo, I want some of that smooth operator life. You know what I
I was
mean?
gonna
Like,
say, like, it also the way that Sade is singing it, it also feels like she's also interested. Like maybe the female
facts.
character she's playing, it's like she knows he's a smooth operator. She knows
Oh,
that he's
she
kind of like gonna play
knows.
these things, but she's also like, I ain't gonna say no if you chat me
But
up
like, it
though. Like
almost
I'm gonna
feels
let
like
you
she's
do it.
both the narrator and the protagonist in this story all at once. Like,
Mm,
she been there, done
mm.
that, but she's also found another one. And like, yo, he's loved in 7 languages. That is
Which
like,
is fire,
use a
fire,
hoe. But respect, broski. Like, 7 languages. Like, don't get me wrong.
bro.
She be like shaming you and complimenting you all at the same time right there. Like,
That's when it studied the continent just so he can go to anywhere and pick up a girl.
where it's more like you look at it like she's, but like the whole thing is layered like that. It's like, this is who he is, Diamond Life Lover Boy, which is cool because it takes like the context and is showing you that this album is probably going to be attached to this character that we're being introduced to on track one, and this is how he moves. He's a smooth operator,
I
and then
wonder
you
if
get,
like I wonder if like because she says coast to coast, LA to Chicago, Western male, is it the fact that like you're from the Western part that maybe the life is different?
I
That
don't
like
know,
implies that like guy. It was just something
maybe
I was thinking of.
in this case, he's like just one of those dudes that happen to come from the West but is traveling. I don't know.
Fair. I
Um,
do love how she did say like access to the north and south to Key Largo, love for sale. That I was just like, okay, that fucking
but
hurts. Like how we do this, like I'll love you as long as you
it's
continue to
also
give me
like
this like transactional shit
her,
type
like,
shit.
it's not transactional to me. Well, it kind of
Right.
is, but I feel like it's more passion, right? Like, no place for beginners or
Right.
sensitive hearts. The sentiment is left to chance. No place to be any with somewhere to start. So it's like you meet that dude, or like, I don't know. Sometimes you meet people and you're desirable, and you realize, okay, this night's lit, but I'm never gonna see you again. And so like, you can smash, you can have all these moments, and in those moments you're running game, like, imagine all the thingies, imagine all the thingies, imagine. But everybody knows it's never gonna be nothing. Yo, next time I'm around, I'll see you. What, 8 months later? In the meantime, yo,
Yo,
what's up,
you never
Shotty?
know, bro. You never
What's
know,
up?
bro. You're
And
like,
you
I'll
run
see
it
you next
again.
time.
But the question is
Shorty.
then, like, so like you get those moments of super amazing, like, we'll call them first date lustful passions, but then like,
Mm.
it's not really where you're ending, but it's definitely somewhere to start. And then like, I don't know, like, it's like dude is addicted to the chase, right? He's not satisfied with
Mm.
what he has. And then I
Mm.
think that this also creates a desirability because, look, like, if man's is succeeding, what is it? What's there? Why are you there?
Why is it that he still does what he do and
Seven
people still follow what he
languages.
do?
That's a lot of
like
languages.
there is this aspect of like being
Oh, Western
enthroned
male,
in
as in
like
fuck. I see what Lindell's saying. Western male, as in like the Western world.
that's what
Like,
I was trying to say. Like the
okay,
Western world compared to like the Eastern world. I may have not even articulated it properly, but that's what I was trying to say. Like, are you saying like because we live in the Western world and how our life is with like just if we look at it today compared to what like people in the other side of the world look at love and relationships and how they treat like marriages and shit. Like, is that a thing? That's what I was trying to say that. Anyway.
yo, shout out Natasha Marie who's watching on Facebook.
What up, Natasha? But yo, this
Sorry.
is definitely a vibe. This is really a vibe. I like
Nah, I
how
don't
she
think.
went in verse two was also like face to face, each classic case. We shadow box and double cross, yet need to chase.
Yo, cause like, bro, it's fun.
Like it's that idea
Is it
of like,
toxic?
yo, like
Yeah.
we're
It's
dancing, we're
fun.
going out. It's it.
Imagination
Ah,
things.
bro, my
Everything's
high school
possible.
toxic brain is like,
No,
yes,
but
this
like,
is fun,
look,
and then my adult brain's like,
if
no,
I'm
be an
out, if I'm
adult.
out at a show, right? Like, that's not holding the human being that has common
No,
sense.
no, we're
No, it's Holden
no.
who's jacked up on endorphins, who's like in character mode. I don't even know how much I got praised that night. So you know,
Oh, we getting sturdy.
the ego stroking sometimes can be a lot. And then like the next thing you know, you're like on one in your head. Like that, you're not even meeting a human at that point. It's all like
No,
fucking emotion and endorphins and
it's
hormones and
too
shit.
much.
Like
Is
real
oh my
talk.
god.
So
Oh
like
man.
I could see how it becomes vibes and shit. And in those moments, I don't know if I was Super Saiyan. Yo, Natasha Marie was fucking Super Saiyan. Like she got elegance. Um,
Mm,
nah, like own that shit. Like queen on stage shit. Um,
facts, facts.
but yeah, this song's a bop. I like the fact that like after she does the context setting, it's like a open musical ensemble. Like she said what she had to say, and then she gets distracted, and now they just you can picture like she's in like this conversation at a table, and then he's just said, "Let's go dance." And of course she went. She want that vibe. It's drugs. We all in this for the drugs of this all, right? Like I know we're growing up common sense, but we're in music land now, so we, playing to the more extreme side of shit. And like, yeah, then you just get the smooth operator repeated like that, right? Like there's nothing more to be said. She knows what it is. She's in. And it's almost like she's both reminding herself and excited by it at the same time. And I feel like that's kind of the cascading effect of like the minutes of just this musical play out. See, y'all, I told you I wasn't going to be a hater. It's just outside my comfort zone. I really love this song in terms of what it is. I mean, never put it on again unless I'm trying to impress a girl, but it's a fucking 5 on 5. I totally see how Smooth Operator became more popular as part of a cultural lexicon. And if Google Trends existed back then, we'd see a spike on that term. And this shit would have been a hashtag and it would have gone trending. Hell, I bet a bunch of women of a certain age certainly be using that word and term still. No offense. I'm 35. We just are all getting to certain ages in life. Anyway.
Hey, Natasha came to Twitch.
Yo, shout out Natasha. Yo, we're going to bump out the rest of it now. We only on the first song. But yeah, the next one is Your Love is King. And shout out Natasha. When I said my parents probably procreated me to music that sounded like this, you hear some shit like this and you're like, yo, it's possible. Like, you don't actually know what exact song was playing, but that was the vibe of my birthing process, you know? Maybe Chris's is a little different. He's a little younger. He has them like the 90s version, but this is where we were at. So, it's kind of interesting to see like what my parents were going to fuck to. What do you think about Your Love is King, Chris?
Battling a cat. Oh my god. I like this. I think what stood out to me is how it kind of connects from the last track, in my opinion. Right. So we find out the guy character is a smooth operator, all this stuff. And now we're addressing the fact that like his love is like the most utmost thing. It's king. It's the best. It's royalty. It's like gives you all these feels, right? But there's this essence of like to me, there's this essence of like because we know he's like not committing, he's not gonna like stick around for that long. He's just coming in, doing like that little phase and leaving. I feel like there's this essence of like obsession with that like limited amount of love that you can get with from him, and like that's why his love is king. Like that's kind of what I felt from this. I like how um where in verse one where she's like, "I'm coming on, I'm coming. You make me dance. You making me dance inside." Like the way she holds the "I'm coming" as if like she's actually releasing and like actually fucking and like coming in bed and
What
all that
Chris is
shit.
trying to say is like she fucking coming. See the double? This is wet
Right?
ass pussy from fucking 1980
We
something.
rappers, we rappers. So like that was
I
really
mean, I
cool.
want
I
to be
did.
clear. The exact same sentiment is more or less being described here without the commercial impact. But yeah, there's some
Uh,
female like, yo, make me come, bitch.
I mean,
Respect.
it's very like intimate and like touching the very part of me. It's making my soul sing. I'm crying out for more. Your love is king. Verse 2. This is no blind faith. This is no sad and sorry dream. This is no blind faith. Your love is real. Like it's really like passionate and like there's like that flame and all that. Like it's good. I'm just like
Bro, look at that first chorus. Yo,
I
it's like, yo, kisses ring round and round my head, touching the very part of me. It's making my soul sing. It's like giving you this guide to her. Like, if you can get up inside of this part of her soul, it's like drugs. It's like you got that shit.
yeah.
Because I feel like this song is almost like, why do you fuck the smooth operator? It's because I'm coming like that. You're making me dance inside. You be putting that work in, and not just the work, but the full attention and like the worship. And especially if it's some random shit, like you gotta like make her feel special. Right? That's almost the number one requirement of all. If you want some tips for this shit, dudes. If you with a girl and she feels like you feel like she's like other girls, you probably lost, my G. You have to make this chick feel special. So if you're really on that game, you're going to put that little bit of effort in to pay attention to the subtle nuances of things in the way that, I feel like she's implying her lover is doing here. This is really happening. It's not like she's getting smashed and fantasizing about that one time 8 years ago, one time made her. Nah, this is really up in her face. This guy is really giving her to everything. The way she's touching, like, your love is king. Like, there's a regal element to it. Like, it's bigger than just the physicality, and he's bringing it. And the way the music just kind of gets into that swaying, like you can just picture like that face to face dancing, almost like tango-y
That
shit, but
comes with
like
it.
slow closeness. And like, bro, if you're not fucking after dancing to this song, you misplayed. You talked. You
Bro, the
talked.
miss
That's what happened. You opened your mouth. You
you
had it
fucking
and you
spoke
lost
up.
it. That's what happened. Because if you
Um,
got that far, you're in. You just got to
I,
shut up now.
I'm
Let
gonna
your
say I think
hands
that
do talking.
there is a part of
Said from a man who
being
talks too much.
there is a part of like misplay where if you're not vulnerable enough, you're not gonna unlock that side. Like a lot of being the smooth operator does come from also playing into like the vulnerability of who you are. Not like her, because that's wrong. You don't play into her vulnerabilities, but like you got to be open with yours and you got to be honest with yours, and then like that's just a whole neck level instead of being like I can do this, I can make you come. It's like, yeah, cool, you can make me come, but can you make my brain come? And that's like a whole different level of shit, which is where I kind of
Yo, we
get
should
from
make a
like
song called Brain Cum. Anyway, go on.
that's kind of where like I get this song is like it's more than just the sensual nature and the sexual touch of everything. It's like there's this whole next level unlocked where like they're I don't know that to me they're kind of like dancing with each other's minds as much as they're also like fucking. So it's cool. It landed at a 4.2 for me.
Like
It kind of like hit the slower side.
this feels like a world of non-monogamy that is more, because it doesn't feel monogamous. It doesn't feel like nuclear family and platonic, or not platonic. It doesn't feel like none of that shit. But it does
Right.
feel like medieval affairs where there's like a certain degree of class and charm, and like you have a couple of shotties that you put a lot of effort into, not a new shotty every weekend.
It just kind of feels like this scene, like when you're in that like part of your life where you're out partying and clubbing and you're just enjoying
You
life
know,
and
bro,
you're
that
like
that's not the whole world. That's just choices some people make.
I know. I'm just saying that's what it seems like to me. Like it's just there's this level of like we're out here just living our best lives and we know what situations we're about to get into and this is it.
I don't think everybody knows all the situations. I think that's part of why this album is existing in the first
Mm.
place. Is she's like, listen, you're gonna meet some smooth operators in your life. Well, let me tell you about that shit. That's what I feel from this album, Mr. Christopher. Anyway, I think this song's like a 4.5. Like, it's not as good as Smooth Operator, but it's still really good. It's again, I want to listen to it, but I can't deny the fact that the band is fucking phenomenal. That like they create these grooves and pockets like Oasis gets praised a lot because they know how to do these long groovy songs, and it's in like that world where it's not trying to overcomplicate it. It's trying to, after 5-6 minutes, lock you into this like almost trance. Like I could imagine these songs could be performed for like 12 to 15 minutes live every time, and it would be like this crazy experience, and you would not get bored. Or like we saw Brand Van 3000 last summer, and they like did whatever, that Drinking in LA track, and they just went LA. That shit took like 5 minutes of that because we wanted to. It's not their fault. It was our fault. We just kept doing it, so they kept doing it. So it's like it creates that kind of feel, and I really believe that this album performed live would be fucking stellar too. So that also needs to be said. Anyway, we can move on to Hang On to Your Love. All right, so in the story of this project, we meet the smooth operator. The smooth operator fucks the shit out of Sade, gets her hooked on a D. Honestly, if you can figure out a way to make your partner have a very good orgasm, it is your best get out of jail free card. And then sometimes you get, you meet the smooth operator and y'all start vibing on a higher frequency. And then you get to the moment where the smooth operator is still operating. And in a sense, in those moments, you get to this part where she's questioning why you don't hang on to your love when you got that shit. Yo, broski, she did an interview on the channel. And they'll watch that interview. I'll link it in a minute. Anyway, Chris, what do you think about this song?
I mean, this I'm not too thrilled with the beat personally. It was like the first
Boom,
song, and
boom,
I was just
boom,
kind of
boom.
like, okay, it didn't really hit me the way I guess it was supposed to. But it was like just very straightforward. It's kind of really just giving the advice of like if you want something to work, you got to stick to it and like really put the effort in and really just like not let go. Um, you get this sense of like, loss, confusion, a little bit of like disparity for like answers, I guess. Not really like desperate for like the person to stay around or some shit. More like, why is this happening? Um, I like how like in the first verse though, she's like, take time if you're down on your luck. It's so easy to walk out on love. Take your time if the going gets tough. It's so precious. Like the essence of just like taking that time and knowing that like you can walk away, but like don't make no like final decisions. Don't be like so hasty with what you're doing. Like just take it one step at a time, which is it's like very good relationship advice. I think it also follows like the narrative of the story. It does connect everything on how like the characters we have and just like this game of love that's kind of just being played back and forth. So I do like that. I like the bridge. The bridge kind of gave me this aspect of like just I've always liked when bridges are just the instrumental and just the sing-songy part because for me it's like after you've given me a lot of the lyrics, it gives me a moment to kind of process what you're saying and like within the song and my brain I like kind of go through these like little scenarios and visions of like what this song kind of like music video plays out in my head type. So I think that's always really cool. And she just like really ties it all back in together, just like again reinforcing this like you gotta hang on. You can't like can't you just can't walk away. Like if you're just gonna keep walking away, nothing's ever going to work. It doesn't matter if it's like with me or with anyone else. It's really just at one point you gotta make a decision and like, yo, this is it. This is what I'm doing, and this is how far I'm taking it to the end type shit. So it's dope. I mean, it was a 4 on 5. Like it's smooth. It's got that like energy. It's got like a great like it fits everything. Just for me, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like this lady has met a few smooth operators in her name who, when push come to shove, all claim they want something, but aren't willing to do the work to get that thing. Like, sure, smashing a bunch of people in high frequency has a vibe, but it certainly is not the same thing as lengthy life building love stuff But
It's
they're just
not.
different things, right? And I think what's happening is like you got the higher frequency people linking up, but sometimes when you are a higher frequency person, tons of people want to fuck you, and so you go around your life, and people want to fuck you, and maybe you engage, and then while you're doing that, you're taking time and energy away from building up that like foundational shit. So in a sense, that person that I guess you should be with, if you're thinking about it from like a rom-com point of view, is sitting there watching you saying some shit like, in heaven's name, why are you walking away, hang on to your love. Like, she's being logical, she sees what she wants, and then everything's perfect except for maybe the lack of focus, and like some shit gets complicated, run away, find the next thing. It's just always on to the next, always moving forward. I think like ultimately this song's about Leonardo DiCaprio, like for real. Like he's the ultimate of this, to the point where like he's a meme now and shit. But like that kind of situation, like everything about Leonardo DiCaprio is probably a case study
Right.
waiting to happen.
It, it clearly does scream like the smooth operator character in this album is like he's got his own issues and he's got like his own like insecurities and shit that he's not ready to deal with and face to be able to like commit to like that one person.
But it's
Like
also
that's
like you can see that with the be brave when the journey is rough. It's not easy when you're in love, and it's not like, yo, people are annoying as shit. Like whoever the fuck you're in love with is gonna annoy the fuck out of you. I don't care what anyone says. They're gonna do dumb shit. They're gonna have bad habits. You're gonna do dumb shit. You're gonna have bad habits and shit. Like I'm extra annoying, so like sometimes you're extra annoying too, and you have to deep down in your soul kind of be aware that you're a little
it's
bit
like there's
extra.
this weird like so like you meet first time, everything clicks, you start dating, everything's clicking, and y'all are like kind of hiding this shit. Like you're kind of like hiding a lot of the annoying things
It's
and a
what we
lot of
call the
like
excessive blowjob part of the relationship.
right, and then it's like
That
boom, like
that's a
just
phase.
suddenly it's like yo, what
Now the
no? If you
blowjob is solely precursor to the next act. That's the next.
it went from like twice a day for like every day of the week to like now it's like once a day to like every 3 days to now it's like once
Now,
like a
what
week.
us men never say in this part is we used to buy dinner all the time, come up with gifts, come up with great things, probably did a whole bunch of massaging, and we just stopped all that shit. That's what we're
Well,
not
yeah,
saying.
there's
We stopped trying. They stopped trying. The cycle of not trying continues. I'm just
bro,
being candid with
it
y'all.
is so oh man,
I
I
know a
can't.
single fucking team of people that lasted fucking 7, 8 years and shit that ain't gone through cycles of shit as they learn how to fucking figure shit out. Love
But like
is
that's
complicated.
really that's still part of it. Like I think there's this ideology or this like concept of like, oh, because I love you, it is what it is. Like that's just is what it is. It's like it's the end all be all. And it's like, nah, bro,
Olivia,
in like 3 months,
Olivia,
I'm
come
about to
on.
change.
Men do this
What
sometimes. Men, let's clarify. Men do that shit. I can't speak
bro,
for boys.
bro, like everyone does the same shit. Men, women, girls, boys, like everyone does the same shit.
Arguably,
We all
no.
go
Men and
through the
boys
same
do not
shit.
approach this shit the same way in the least. We're talking
It's
smooth
just
operator game. We ain't talking some poser shit.
I fair. Okay, if we're making that distinction, I'm saying like, bro, it's not just one-sided. Like everyone deals with relationships, everyone goes with the ups and downs, everyone goes with their own like situations, traumas and shit like
Yo,
that.
Lindell, I don't
And like
recognize
that's
this song. Where is this song from that I would know this song? Is this like
what?
got like this giant sync placement I'm supposed to know? Like, where is this from?
Next thing you know, it's like the headlining song of some big movie that we've
I'm
never
like,
seen.
oh, okay. um, Fair. I
Oh
think the
shit.
hook of this song is really good. That bass line is infectious. That bass player is ridiculous. It's crazy how he can just do like an arpeggio for like the whole song and throw in hooks like every 8 bars. And those hooks are just like, okay, now I'm going to show you I'm an excellent bassist, but this is what fits the song. Yo, that bassist is flexing heavy on him. I did not really listen to the rest of the music because that
Exceed.
bassist is flexing heavy on him. I had trouble listening to Sade because I really like that bass line. Like, I don't. It's really what happened. Um, I do think that lyrically it's really powerful. I think that this is like one of them songs where, for real, like I could picture a lot of people who just got cheated on. This is the joint. This is the I just got cheated on joint. You know, like, why are you not trying? Why are you going over there instead of working on your problems at home? Because, I mean, that's usually what it be. So, yeah,
Bring out
it's
the list.
powerful. Yeah, because you're a pussy is why you're not working on your problems at home. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. You're a coward is why you're not working on your problems at home. That's the list, the whole list. You're a coward. We are. Like, it's cowardice when we go do some whack shit. We're just humans, so we're allowed to be
Oh,
cowards sometimes.
oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Yo, lately I'm trying to get my shit together on some real shit. Okay? I'm really trying to get my maybe I got my own problems. I'm just saying lately I'm just trying to get focused and spit shit for what it be. I think Sade make excellent points in this song, to be honest with you. And as Lindell said, like, yo, it could be about passion and shit. Like, yo, how many rappers do I know who are like 4 years in and I'm like, oh broski, just wait till you've lost another $50,000 and then talk to me. Like, just wait till you see the disappointment then. Anyway, so like you see people and like I don't really think long term is part of our culture. You can see it in the working cycle. We're not encouraged to stay at companies. There's no reward mechanisms for like I'm not even choosing violence though. I'm spitting facts. Like I don't feel like anything I said is wrong and I'm not even being hypocritical. I'm super self aware of my flaws for people who know where my life's at.
I think
So
she
it's
meant it
like,
more as just like you're spitting the truth instead of like but beating around the bush. And that's like
yo, I
sometimes
think
people
that
don't
the
want the
Sade
truth.
fan base wants to know that the music
Yeah.
moved me passionately. Do I think it's the most amazing thing? It's not my preferences, but arguably this is really well written poetry to exemplify certain points and contextualize the other side. And
Yeah.
I really like that. I think I mean, we're 3 tracks in and we still talking this much. I mean, they are long songs, but I think the story element of this album is super relevant. And I can't imagine that like a lot of people are taking this angle of like self value in this. Like, what I offer you is better than them other bitches because I know how to build a team. But like dead ass, if I talk about all of my exes, they said that same shit to me. I always did some dumb shit. And sometimes I think back and I wonder, like, yo, I was really wrong. What if? And it's not like you really want to go there, but I've been really wrong to the point where sometimes what I believe in now is what that person was trying to put me onto, and I was just a dick about it. So it's like I didn't take the time to invest in that love. I chose other things, and you just, you hear her spit this shit, and you're like, it is fun being a smooth operator, but there are
Bobby.
consequences to it. Anyway, this song's like a 4.25. I do feel it's less engaging to me than the other ones, but I really think it's good. And like, this is just preferences. Like, this is really well composed music, really well written music. Like, it's 6 minutes, and I'm not bitching about it being long. That's how you know it's good. Let's move on to Frankie's first affair. All right. Let me just say, we find out some flavor about our smooth operator on this joint. He is trash. He can't handle it. He don't know how to do the game. He can't handle it when it don't go good. When all of a sudden people start calling him on this bullshit. When all of a sudden because you got to keep in mind, she's the one that's trying to convince him not to be a smooth operator, not to be like out there playing with hearts all over the world, because you can't just act carefree without consequence. Because every time maybe you put your penis inside of a person, maybe there's a liability that gets created with that. Maybe these people can collaborate and learn more about you. Shit, there are literally Reddit threads right now for groupies who fuck the same celebrity. Like, that's where we at. Okay,
Oh, the Eskimo brothers.
I don't even know what you're talking about there,
The
but
Eskimo brother is somebody like if me and you smash the same girl, we're
mm,
Eskimo brothers. So like they're basically Eskimo sisters.
I'm gonna keep all of my mouth shut and not say anything in my head right now. Um, what I'm saying is, Frankie's out here clearly whining about some shit when shit did not go his way. Let's not go there. Let's not go there, please.
We're not. We're
Um,
not. We're not. We're
I'm
not.
silencing the crowd too. We're not going there. Um, but basically, you have this guy that is out there playing game on a bunch of women. You know the tricks as if they're your invention. It wasn't your intention, Frankie, to fall in the trap you made. And she's pointing out how, well, buddy, you're not that original. And look at that. These girls ran game on you, son. And then all of a sudden, Frankie, maybe he's falling in love all over. Maybe Frankie can't handle the fact that while he's smooth operating, the next girlies are smooth operating too. Maybe Frankie don't like the fact that if she's down for the streets, she's down for the streets, right? That means you don't get no claim on her. And all the things that come with the shit. I'm just trying to put it in context here for the people of the today era because it's a little more classically described. But meanwhile, she's doing this all with this like sharp pen of, I fucking told you so, son. Why? Go back a song ago when I'm telling you to like not fucking run away from love and shit. Anyway, so yo, where's the laughter? You spat in their faces, Frankie. You treated them like shit. Oh, look at that. All your jokes wasn't funny. Oh, look at that. All your games that you ran, it turns out, you know that. It sounds pretty good, actually. Sonically, oh boy, is it not my vibe. I feel like it's a bit of a sleeper, to be honest. But from the storytelling perspective, I am really fucking like interested in how she flipped the entire concept of the smooth operator into basically being so trash at it that now she's coming back to her. Because you got to keep in mind, this is like her side of a conversation. So he's gone out there, left this girl, done all the deeds, and then he's coming back and whining to her face about other women. Bro, you need a homie. You can't be doing that. That's some trash behavior.
Hold up.
Trash behavior, broski. That's amateur hour. Amateur hour. Don't you realize they really, really did care? Yeah, they did care that you stuck your dick in them. The party's over. Yeah, they're not letting you do it no more. Now you discover it's your turn to cry. Turns out you're not that special. There's next dicks out there. And you don't realize, ooh, it's the toughest thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it sucks. We all fly too close to the sun. Our little Icarus wings make us fly down into the ocean and shit. Anyway, yeah, we can quote my lyrics all the time. We can do it like that. I'm fine with that. Anyway, we ended off with "It's Your First Affair." And then we find out Sade is actually like boss here. Like she's like, oh, you don't even know how to do this. I done been doing this. You weakling. Conceptually, 5 on 5. I don't know that I really enjoy the music as much. It's as well made as the other stuff, but it's slow and it's not 100% my cup of tea. The way she sings it packs all the emotion, and I'm trying to give all the due diligences. Like the composition's great. They create the groove. I'm way more into the concept. What's up, Chris? Chris is sitting here stunned in this moment, not knowing how to respond, apparently.
Bro, okay, Brody caught an L. That's it. Just eat your L, fam. You fucked up. You fucked up. Just eat your L and take the time you need to cry. That's it. It was it's pretty straightforward, bro. Like I ain't got much more to dissect.
So Lindell, you're correct. It is subjective. It could be like you, a rapper, discovering how hard it is to rap in a city when only 3 people come to your show. It could be you, a guy on the more literal context. It's totally fair. I think all of my ranting would apply equally, regardless of context. Anyway, I get slapped in the face by life like every week. Okay, like I get kicked in the nuts by life like every week. You got to learn how to get the fuck up and not be like a whiner about it, because there's no money in whining unless you're like a tea person on YouTube and you found a way to monetize it, in which case, do you. But otherwise, there's not a lot of money in whining. I mean, I'm literally whining to you guys on camera, but we found a way to monetize this. Lindell's paying me to whine on camera. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. Chris clearly doesn't want to comment on this one.
There's nothing to comment from me. He got caught cheating. He's dealing with issues, and she proves that, like, she was just trying to be a really good friend and like be like, yo, you could do better. And if you hang on and you were like really confident and you like stuck in the journey, you could like this could actually be working out, and you could like actually succeed. There are like, other parts where I'm kind of like, when she was like, it's your turn to cry. For me, I'm like, I get like a double entendre type thing. Like I feel like she's like telling him like, now you get to cry because you've been making your girl cry, or you've been making me cry, so it's like your punishment type shit. But then like there's another part of me that's kind of like, yo, if you can't deal with the shit that's happening at home and you're like trying to find like an outlet and shit, and then you get caught, fuck up, and everything breaks, it's like, yo, here's your moment to finally break down. Like maybe you can't actually break down at home. Maybe you can't be sad. Maybe you're not allowed to fucking have like emotions or some shit. So like that's kind of how I took that. That's really one of like the powerful lines in the song that I took. The rest of it, Brody caught an L, dude. That's it. Just like eat your L and move on.
All
It's a
right.
4-on-5.
I'm not going to comment on any of this. I don't see. Anyway, when am I going to make a living? All
Building your
right.
online business?
Yeah, we are. And we're using Wix. What up? BehindThatSuit.com/shop, and you can buy some pickle shit. How's it going, Chris? How do you feel about when am I going to make a living?
So I like this one. It had a more of like the uppier, boppier side to it. It didn't so much feel like it was part of this whole like love story. I felt like this was like a little bit of like a break from the emotional roller coaster we're on, and then like we're just kind of trying to be happy, trying to like find some sort of like success, some sort of like happiness in our lives. But I guess like it could also play as like, now that like Brody took an L and like his life's falling apart, and like Shorty's all like fucking crying and the life's all broken. It's like everybody's just kind of in this pensive state of like, when am I ever gonna just make it? Like when am I ever just gonna be happy? When am I gonna be successful? And just it kind of gave me that feeling. This could also apply to like rappers and music and being in like the scene and stuff, and like just thinking to yourself like, yo, I'm putting in all this work, I'm like trying to be better, I'm trying to put in this effort, and like when is it that like my chance is gonna come and like finally you know ascend to that next level. um but I also like how in the chorus she's like, we're hungry but we won't give in, hungry but we won't give in, as if like you could take like shortcuts, you could give in to like your vices, you could give in to like temptation, but if you do stay focused on like the path you're trying to achieve, then you will get to that destination, right? So I do like how she's like reinforcing that there. Even with like verse 3, oh, there's no end to what you can do, they'll waste your body and soul if you allow them to. Oh, starting to believe in yourself, put the blame on no one else. Like, yeah, like take accountability for the shit you're doing, make sure you believe that you could actually do what you got to do, and like you are, for like us rappers, we are the best, we're gonna act like, show that we are, perform that we are, act like we are the best, humbly and respectfully, in my opinion, of course. But like this can apply to everything else too. Like when you walk around with a sense of courage and bravado, you're just like, you give off that aura, you give off that like, I can do this, and it does help change your life, it does help like get you to that next level. But you want to do it, you know again, humbly, respectfully, organically, and maybe not take the shortcuts. I know we're all hungry, I know we're all trying to find that, but like put in the work, do your 10,000 hours and more, and you'll achieve that success, whatever it is to you. And I think it's cool. Like I think it really does drive it home. Again, I do think it's like we've been getting a lot of emotions, we've been getting a lot of like ups and downs in the hearts. So like let's take a moment, let's just kind of disconnect from reality. Let's go like think about something else, and then we'll come back. Kind of how I took it. It's a 4.3 on 5.
I feel like this one is a little bit like, okay, it's not fully a love album. It really is about your passions, and it's because of this song Lindell's like, it could be about passions the whole way through. Because, yeah, this one has like the feel of just stay true to yourself and you're going to make it and all that stuff. But Fair, I guess. I don't know. That message is cool. Like, on one level, it's only cool if you understand how to implement it. Like superficially, it's a pointless message because most people don't interpret it right, and that's how you end up with a whole scene of wanky whiners who believe in themselves, sorta, because they like. I guess maybe they don't get the full message. Like to start believing in yourself, put the blame on no one else. Maybe they missed that part, because I guess they don't usually do that. Like I was less into this song. I was super into the love story, and I feel like okay, how are we gonna hustle and achieve our greatness and like not give in to the life? But then life got mad bleak, man. Since 2008, it's been complicated. Motherfuckers gotta hustle and shit. So I don't know. I'm sick and tired of scratching a living too. I'm sick and tired of all that shit too. But like these kind of songs don't fully resonate with me because it's like hungry, but we're gonna win. I guess maybe hungry. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just where I'm at in life. Like I'm missing the point, or I think it's more the point just isn't hitting me. Like I done believed in myself. I done did all this shit. It's still fucking miserable. We're not gonna stop, I guess, but I'm not relating to this like anthemic feel of it. I'm not like, yeah, this is cool. And it's like, nah, how are we actually gonna win? And I start like looking at the game a little different. Like I made more money selling pickle related shit than I did fucking selling emotions. So, like sometimes you start to look at life differently when you realize how much of this is an industry and whatever. And so if we are talking about passion, like if you want to be a hobbyist, cool. But the second you start talking about making a living, like, well, it's when you treat it like a business and do all the business stuff. So I'm too like that for it to like fully be a song I vibe with. If we start talking about the love version of it, because it kind of doubles as a love song, um, it's like, yeah, I guess if you take your shit, hungry, I won't give in. I won't be like Frankie last time. I'll be smarter. I'll be better. But genuinely, it feels like it throws off the album. Like it's a crazy run, and then you get to this part, and it doesn't have the same depth and emotion to me. It feels like the label pushed for some shit, and this is what we got, or like we needed a song like this. But man, we're hungry for a life we can't afford. There's no end to what you can do if you give yourself a chance to prove. Like, I guess be humble, stay within your means, stay focused on your shit. Like, it's nice, but like, it just feels like it lacks the same depth and power that I was just hearing from like the message. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It's how it went, but it's what it is. Anyway, I gave it like a 4. I did not enjoy this one as much. What did you think? What
I
was
already
it? Did your
explained what
part?
I
Yeah,
think.
my
Yeah.
bad. Cherry pie. Bro, this song is 6 minutes and like 20 seconds and change or whatever. That's a long song. What do you think about it, Chris?
I think it's nice. I mean, I like how we're getting like she's kind of upset. She's now like coming to terms with what happened with the situation, the breakup, the cheating, all that.
Or
But
your
there's
fan base turning on you and calling you a sellout because now we have to add that element in because the album forcefully contrived this extra element into the story. Anyway,
when
I'll
I
stop.
met you, boy, you were as sweet as cherry pie. That smile in your eye,
I
you were
know,
as
but
wild as Fred. I no, no, I'm gonna
I'm
go with.
sorry. But when I met you, crowd at the Paul Wall show, you were so lovely. And then, maybe the next crowd isn't the same. Metaphors, bitch.
No, there we go. There we go. Um, I mean, I what I really liked about this is the energy in the song, is the determination to really wanting to figure out like why he treated her that way, and like what was it about her, or like what was it about the situation that like could have been improved or could have been at least fixed. But I feel like it does still continue carrying the story. It does give this aspect of like the other side. We've kind of been following the smooth operator as much as she's been narrating the story. We've been following his problems and like his whole like timeline. So I did like how we switched into her timeline now, and now that I'm looking back at it, it kind of feels like the rest of the project is like her perspective of the situation more than just writing like what she sees kind of his perspective is.
I
So
mean,
I thought it was
yeah,
cool.
that's why I was saying all that shit. The whole album's been her perspective,
Right.
commenting on his doofusness.
Right. I meant more like the first part was like about him, and now this part and the rest of the album is about like the female side. Anyway, it's fine. Um, it's
Bro, how
cool.
is this
Like,
about her in that regard? You gave me your soul for at least a day. Listen, boy, there was a time when I wanted to stay. You
yeah,
know
this
the
is
cost
her
is.
side. Like, she was telling him like not to cheat, and then she was telling him he can cry, and then she was calling him a smooth operator, and that's like we're getting the story from his like her narrating his timeline and like what his character is, and then now she's like, "You did this to me. You made me feel bad. You broke my heart.
Bro, there
Why
was
did you
totally
cheat?"
elements of that the whole way through. I'm
Like,
gonna argue and be like, "Oh, you
fair.
put your dick in me and made me dance on my inside is equal to I'm stronger now. I loved you then."
Fair. But it's I like it's I. It was a 4 on 5 to me. It kind of just really came and went, even though it was like 6 minutes. I zoned out at like one point because it was just very long. But
It was a lot
overall, it was
of
good.
gotta find out what I meant to you. You're the one who broke my heart in two. And then she would like do a lot of repeating the "You broke my heart" with the boodadoos, and repetition was heavy on this song. I feel like it would do really well live, and my lack of enthusiasm is not fully projecting the quality of the song, but it was not again my jam. Also, I feel like I'm throwing off because of the last track, and now we're back in the love story, and I am being a little ridiculous with it, but I also don't think I'm wrong. I think album placement really does a lot to create a classic, and this would throw me off every time I listen to the project, and like it makes this song less impactful. Whereas if the last song just didn't exist, and we moved into this following like Frankie's first affair, like, yo, wouldn't this just be like way slapping harder? Because now it just
Mm.
makes sense. Now it's like, okay, she's like, well, now that I've thought about it, and I'm like, where's my value in this? You're chasing all this shit, etc., etc. Oh, you claim you're gonna come change and do all this shit, but no matter what happens, something else is gonna pop up, something else, something else. What did I even mean to you? And all that shit. So it's like, I'm less enthusiastic because the album made me less enthusiastic, and I think that's part of the review. And if we're being honest, that's how I feel. If you guys disagree, you can hate me in the comments. I love the engagement. Um, People stop doing it the more I'm like fucking make fun of me. They used to like make fun of me when they thought I cared more. um, it's a shame, you know. But there was a I don't know, you gave me your soul for a day, like, you know, we had our moment, our little steamy session, but now I don't need you to validate me like that. I don't need you in this way. Your games ain't working. I am now being added into this list of people holding you accountable. It is literally the perfect follow up, I think, to the Frankie's affair in terms of a song. I get why it's structured the way it is, in terms of just you almost feel her eating ice cream and sitting there in PJs, like blowing tissues, writing this shit out, and like really going through it. Um, but I had a lot of trouble focusing on the song once it came into it. I do like the idea of her being like, "You were the one. You were like, you meant this much to me, and then you broke my heart. Like, why the fuck did this happen?" I think it's a super valid song. I think the whole fucking everything about it is beautiful. I just sonically I'm not riding the wave anymore. I'm like I'm not as into it. So I'm gonna give it like a 4-ish because I know it's a really good song. I do believe the live experience would be stupid good to see. You could do so much to play with it. But yeah, it's like I'm forcing myself to get back into the story, which now that we've gone through this process and we talk about Sally and shit, I'm more back in the story, but that's a big knock on the structuring and the segmenting and why you really maybe need to care about that more in life. Oh, is Sally the horror or side chick? Is that what's happening here? Is this
So
like
the way that it kind of plays out, like if we go to where is it? Verse 4, Vince came up from the country, couldn't even find himself a room, thinking about his babies, so they're further away from the moon, whatever. So it does feel like Sally is somebody like prostitute, local corner chick, the
she's for the
person you're
streets?
gonna
She
yeah.
does the
But
dirty
I
work.
also I also
A
did kind of
thirsty world,
interpret
one
it
angry
like
day in New York.
I did also interpret it as like the side chick and kind of giving me this feeling of like, yo, when shit's like again happening at home and you need like an escape, like you go and make bad decisions.
As
I'm not saying this is a good one, but
it's a
like,
and it's a cool follow up because like from
mhm.
conceptually speaking, there is the other people in the story that
Right. But it could also like, I mean, imagine like people who travel for like shows and shit, right? Like if you're traveling and you're not with your family and stuff, I do understand like that lonely aspect. Like you just want to be held, you just want to feel like loved or whatever it is. But that does
I
also come
have
with like
never
insecurity and shit.
personally gone to a point where like I want to be held like that from some random person. I'm
I
just not at
mean,
that place. It's actually like the opposite. Like I could maybe do some things. Don't
I
get me
mean, I don't,
wrong. But when
I
you talking
wouldn't
about
really maybe.
hold this girl, hold me, like you get this.
Well,
She
like
gonna
it's
rob
just,
me
I'm
or some
not,
shit.
I
Yo, I'm
mean,
not
it's
getting
just, he
robbed like
doesn't want
that.
like,
I don't
it,
trust people like that. That's a high level of trust, Chris.
so that's what I'm saying. Like it could be one of two. It's more just the aspect of like you like she said he doesn't want to be alone. For me, I'd be like this is more like the side chick. This is like you're like I don't know about or whatever, and like you end up at Shorty's place, and she like understands like what you're dealing with in terms of like your fucking real life and shit, and she's like holding you down.
Hold on.
And
Is Sally the female Captain Save-A-Ho?
I mean, Captain Save-A-Ho is not really like the side chick. He's the one who goes in and like saves the hoes and
Yeah,
turns
but we're
them
talking
into
about
like
saving the man-hose.
nah, but I don't think she's really saving him. She's just there to release his anger, tension, and everything. So they're like smashing and he's like bitching about his wife and
So
family and shit to her.
it's like a massage with a happy ending deal.
She's homegirl. She's the homegirl he gets to slap, he gets to smash. That's really what it is. Like she's just the homegirl that he talks to, and she's like,
And so
this is
like
probably whatever. And he just wants.
simultaneously, Sade is coming through with the salt, right? So put your hand, because the way she sings it is like it's vicious, right? Like, so put your hands together for Sally. Like it's got like this, like an edge
Oh,
to it, and so
don't
like
get me
she's
wrong,
almost
Natasha.
like
I know she's enabling him. I agree with you.
she's
She's
like
enabling
saying
him, but it's still
salute to these hoes that create the other side of this equation. Almost like I guess she's out there doing the dirty work since we don't fuck them enough. She's fucking them since it's so terrible. It's like you can almost hear
right,
all
right,
the
right.
things Buddy said as why he's smashing over there, and she's just kind of compiling it into this chorus of pure shade that is being thrown at Sally, who's representing all these women who be playing these roles and shit. Like, it is what it is in terms of a message. But it's also like if we're talking about the completion of the story, it's fair. Like you got to consider it. There is all these women that are comfortable playing this shit. Like there's this one TikTok I saw, and I'm pretty sure it was a joke, but like this chick shows up, like, "How you still fucking my man?" And she's like, "He gives me $2,000 a week. I'm gonna keep fucking your man as long as he keeps giving me $2,000 a week." That girl gave zero fucks about a family. She
I
said
mean,
8 grand a month. What?
but
Get
that
out of
seems
here. Fuck your
more like
family. So
there
put your
are like just some
hands
people who are
together for
okay with just
Sally.
like
She's the
just being that
one
person
who
in your
can.
life without having to pay them.
But
Like that
like,
seems more like transactional.
Captain Save-A-Ho is an enabler though, because Captain Save-A-Ho be deliberately looking for like troubled chicks and wants to save the hoe to get the neck and then move the fuck on when the hoe don't want to be saved. So don't save her. She don't want to be saved. I don't often agree with J. Cole, but he got a point one time.
I don't know, man. I think it depends on like what his like intentions are, because sometimes like Captain Save a Hoe could save a hoe, and then she ends up turning into like no longer a hoe, just because he's
When?
like that guy.
When? Show
I
me an
mean,
example in real life, please.
yeah. Let me just hold on. Let me just pull
Show
up the
me an
fucking
example in real
database.
life when they're not rich. Please.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Enabling ass shit. Captain's anyway. Like look, I think this song is super valid and I really like it. I don't want my tone to be like I'm being dismissive or anything because I know how I
Right.
sound. I'm a little aware of it, but it's an interesting song and it really hit me when I clicked like wow, like Sade be on some like really good concept writing. Like this fits the album perfectly. If we're past the point of the breakup and she's now just considered like why this happened, right? Which is what happened on the previous song. The perfect follow up is to come to the conclusion. Like I'll never forget this moment. I was living on Saint Jacques and Elmhurst, across from Goldie's. If you know, you know. So my balcony's on the ground level, not balcony, my window in my bedroom. The window's open, and I look out the window and I can see the fucking corner. As a fight be breaking out, as two ladies is beating the shit out of each other over some guy who fucked both of them. For the life of me, I was always perplexed how like the dude was never included in the conversation. It was just like these two girls beating the shit out of each other and shit. And I don't know. I feel like it is these extra people that need to be taken into consideration, and it
I mean,
is an
that's just
important
the
part of
same.
it. It does take at least 3 to entanglement. There's no Chris Rock slap without that young August man.
I
I think
mean,
his
it's
name's
on the
August.
other
I don't
side
remember
too,
his name.
right? Like, dudes find out the girls like cheated on them and shit, and they be fucking smacking each other, and nobody's really talking to her. They're just like big manning it out.
Yo, at the last show I was at Belmont, not the one I performed at the night before, it was them girls that was ready to fight. The fight nearly broke out, and I'm like next to these two girls as they coming in, and I'm like, is this really happening? I'm the in between two girls fight moment,
Go, 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 go.
and
I'm
it did
joking. I'm
not turn into a
joking.
fight. Thankfully, I did not end up getting scratched or some shit. But like, yo, it was really like that sometimes. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore. I got mad distracted. Sally be doing the works this
Sally's a
time.
fort. Sally's a fort.
It's pretty good though. I like the groove, the energy. I'm giving it a 4.5. I think what she does with the melody, the way she sings it, the overall tone of it, it sounds distinctly different. And it almost has this seductive quality. Like you can almost picture a smoky room and what Sally looks like as you're listening to the song, just based off of the energy. So it's really cool. Anyway, I'll be your friend Chris. Tweet Chris
Yay!
at Chris Chrome 93.
Like,
Bro, I mean, I'm not even lying to y'all watching this. These are long songs of a genre of music that is not my favorite. Y'all, I'm doing my best. I just need you to know if my enthusiasm has not what it was, it's kind of like I busted and I'm trying to go for round 3, and we just did it now. Okay, I'm just trying to be real with y'all. I really
I
fuck with this
literally made
project
that
still.
reference recently.
I really just like. I'm just being real with y'all, but I do appreciate where she's coming from the story on this, because, yo, this is when I realized Sade is the extra real, like, that real. And it annoyed me that that Corporate Plant song was there. Because, like, if you've ever been down this rabbit hole of life, you don't really stop talking to those people. Like,
Nope.
you should, but that shit's drugs. And, like,
And we're
maybe
all
it
at it.
does. Like, it really may end at a point where you hit the maturity where you really are just good friends and former lovers and shit. And I feel like that's where like she's really at with this one. Like, I'll be your friend to the end of time. I'm here to make you smile. I still care about you. I still love you. But yo, we've been there, done that, and now I'm just over here in your life while you go do whatever you
It's
do in
like,
Smooth Operator.
you know what's crazy? It's like how modern this project is. Because I feel like people don't take the time to like build brick by brick anymore. And you end up living this type of life more frequently. You meet each other, you lust each other, you smash. Because you smashed more than once, you're kind of like now, oh, I guess we're gonna, try this out. Shit starts unfolding, things break. And then you're like, well, I just spent X time with you, and now I can't really just stop doing what I'm fucking doing. So, like, I'll see you around and I'm going to check in because you now play a role in my life. And it's crazy to think that this project was what, 1987, 1984? Like, and this is still essentially relevant today in
Guys.
terms of how, like, dating and relationships are.
So I don't think my parents had met yet, and I was possibly not conceived while it was hot. But it is possible that a Sade album was playing, and this song came on, and my parents were smashing to conceive me. Anyway, keep going.
No, that was really just my whole point. Like, I said all that and I blanked because I looked at the chat.
But basically,
Yeah,
this song to me feels like it really moves the album along. It's got a calmer energy because I think that some of the more passionate parts of this story have taken place. And if we're trying to tell a tale of humanity and looking at how it works as you go through these Diamond Life kind of affairs, it really does end on a calmer note where, like, you gotta sometimes distance yourself. Like, I like the fact that she's still willing to be this person and help them in ways. Like, it's not like your relationships are dead. It's just now you're not fucking like that. Now it's more mature. Now it's like you're aware of all these things, and I can just be here to be somebody in your life, make you smile and shit. Maybe like I'm missing the point, and in some case she's like loving dude, but this really feels like that post situation where you can now talk to this person. Now's when you can tell her about them people you fucking, because you're now at that place, because y'all have done that, like whatever time has passed to like heal, because you'll be good people. But she knows she wants something different, and she'll be there for you forever and love you forever, but it's never gonna be that. She either wants more or
Yeah,
deserves
yeah.
more, whatever the right word is, because deserve is a big word. But like end of the day, I just think it fits really well. And without this song, I feel like it would be more Hollywood. But this song makes me go, nah, she been there, done that. Like it's really like that actually. Cause yo, if any of the girls I've dated in the past, with the exception of like one or two, really hit me today, it would be like hard to be like, nah, I'm not gonna help you. Like, how could I not? Like, these are people that mean something at some point in your life. Anyway, the song is a little lengthy, and I'm already a little
I don't know
disinterested,
about that.
but it fits really well. And I think it's like another 4 on 5, a 4 point something. It's good.
I do
Um,
feel like there's this aspect of like maybe this is like the last shot of like everything.
nah,
Because
nah. Well, okay, how? Where do you see this is the last shot of everything?
well, I'm saying like the last shot of like making things work in terms of even just like a friendship. Like she's accepted that she'll be your friend. She's gonna like make that effort to do that. Maybe it's because I am looking at like the next song and kind of like maybe connecting them together in a way
Well,
which I'll get
why
to
don't
on the
we
next one.
do that on the next song when we've got all that context for your point to make sense?
It's a 4.3 on 5. Go on. Why can't we just live together, Holden? Why can't we just do that?
You drink way too many energy drinks. Um, I don't understand the placement of this song on this album a lot. Like I got like real confused here. So we were in this cool moment where she brought us back into this story, you know, where like we've hit the friend zone point of shit, conclusiveness almost in the relationship. And then tell me why we can't live together. I'm like, okay, fair. Maybe we're still in this relationship shit. But then it's like, no more war, just a little peace. All we want is some peace in this world. Okay, maybe turbulent relationship shit. Like, maybe on some like Pat Benatar loves a battlefield shit. Like, okay. But then it's like, you're still my brother. I said, no matter what color. And I'm like, what's going on here? Why is this here? What is like I'm not like mad at the like I guess the world the color blindedness message of the 80s and shit. Like I get it, but like this feels more contrived than the other song. Like it feels like this should be attached to like We Are the World charity campaign or some shit like that. And I don't understand. Like, is that what, or is it like if we're gonna get a little abstract, like once we're done with our fucking, we must work together to like combat global issues? I guess that's like a message for celebrities and shit. I was so baffled. Like the sound is really different. It doesn't fully sonically feel like it fits this album. It feels very standout. I like what it sounds like. I'm still I'm just one of them people that think about things, and I don't know when we moved into like 80s telethon, but that's what it feels like we at now. We at a telethon and we trying to raise money for like kids around the world or something.
I mean, I think it's cool. I the only like abstract thinking I could think of is like when how I my brain connected the two last ones. It's like y'all couldn't even be friends, so now it's like that final like why can't we just live together in peace? Like why is it that we went through this whole turbulent situation, this whole relationship, and we're still like not happy even after we've ended it and like been friends and all this stuff. And then you're right. You listen to the song, and I'm like, this is not what I thought it was. And it just kind of seems a little bit out of place. But
We are the world.
I don't know. I guess it's a good message to end on. Like, if you think of it like, look, this is how people act, whether it's like male or a female. People just act in this way. These are relationships we go through. There's the ups and downs and the experiences, and
Nah,
then you question
like
like, why can't
I'm
we just like live together in
it
peace and
literally
harmony?
brings ethnicity into this shit, broski. Like it literally is on some
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are the world
I
shit. Why can't we
I
just
am
get
like
along?
reaching into dimensions here. Anyway, um,
And
I gave it a 3.7 on 5
like
just
I
because
don't even
like
see how this shit's a double entendre for the album.
I'm reaching in dimensions, bro. No, I gave it a 3.7 on 5. I felt it kind of like
Okay, and
I'm
I
kind
don't
of
want to
glad it's
live
at the end.
together with everyone. I'm comfortable not living with most people, to be honest with you. I mean, there is this bizarre notion that our society's moved away from communal living and the way that, like, in certain ethnicities and cultures, that multi generations of a family will live in a single home. And my culture is all about that. Let's have a lot of space and have nobody around. So, like, maybe there's a bigger socioeconomic conversation to be had about that. But this is, weren't we just in the love song anyway? I'm being a bit of a shit. I know it. Y'all can say
I'm kind
whatever,
of happy
but
that it's at the end, to be fair. Like,
it's just what it is.
I don't have to play this if I'm going to listen to that project. Like, I'll just
But
stop
if
at,
it
I
really
will.
feels like this shit should have just been an EP with the 6 tracks or 7 songs that like really
Yeah.
fill it, and then the other 2 could have been the deluxe edition, and then that would have been really hard. Anyway, Love Affair with Life is there, and I kept hearing it when I went through the playlist because I kept forgetting to stop it. So we're gonna watch this live version of Love Affair with Life from Munich in 1984 together. It's about the love affair with life.
Performance was great. I think she has like really great power in her voice. The audio kind of sounds like off, but that's just probably because it's like a YouTube video through this, through that. It was good. I didn't really catch a lot of the lyrics. It's okay. It's good.
Chris is like,
405.
I'm bored. I think if this fits the album more than the fucking "We Are the World" song, like lyrically, like it's kind of like looking a little bit at somebody else in a musical sphere or being out there. You play to empty eyes and crowded bars. I can't believe you've come this far. You got nowhere. What is this left of me? Every time you play is your first kiss. So like this is an interesting one because it has that passionate affair feel to it, but it also like mixes that with like the music thing, and I feel like had this one been right there in the middle of the project, it would have really fit super well. Just because I'm not a pastime, I'm not your pastime. Don't play around with me. That's a powerful little hook that she's throwing in there. Some words that could be like connected with that I feel fit the message of the overall project, and it totally makes sense how this gets added to it later on because this one makes sense. It fits. It like sounds like it belongs. All of that other stuff. So I liked it a lot. I give it like a 4.5. I feel like it was more enjoyable than others. And then Lindell would like us to watch a thing. So we're gonna watch that after. So we'll get to the wrapping up of the album review. So, Chris, tell us what you feel about that album as a whole.
As a whole, I gave the album a 4 on 5. I think it's cool. It was a very smooth, nice project to listen to. It wasn't like super heavy from that era. Um, I like a lot of the sounds. I like the live instruments. I like the storytelling. I do agree we could have chopped out the 2 songs and made it a 7 track something. Um, or yeah, just take the middle song out and let the story flow and then give us your 2 like need like, label needed songs or whatever. Um, but besides that, I mean, it's cool. Smooth Operator is probably like just one of my really favorite songs on the project. Just overall, it has a nice vibe to it. I like how she sings like the Smooth Operator part. Like it's just really kind of a bop. And I think I will be your friend as well. I like the chorus, and I will be your friend. That just I don't know, the way that it kind of sways back and forth is really really cool. But overall, it's an easy project. Y'all should check it out. And yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoyed this album conceptually. Like sonically, like I've said a bunch of times, this is not really what I go to, but now if I'm trying to impress a girl, I'll be like on my Sade vibes because I see you, people that do things different than me. I think this album really connects an interesting story, offering a great perspective on what it's like to be caught up with that smooth operator character, and then especially finding out that they're trash at it. I really enjoyed the way that the plot developed. It felt very movie esque, like she'd watched a lot of the great romances and wanted to tell her own version of it based on what I feel to be as her experience. And I think it's a really great collection of songs that does the entire theme justice, and it's really cool. Um, that's all I gotta say about that. So thank y'all. I mean, I said a lot more. So if you just came to this part, go watch the rest of the review. But like, appreciate all y'all for watching. Those of you who rode with us on the live at twitch.tv/behind that suit. That's super cool of y'all. You can hear all the unedited, all the music there. We cut it up for the YouTube video. Feel free to leave likes, comments, all that good stuff. If you mess with what we do and want to be like Lindell, you can go to patreon.com/behind that suit and show love over there. If you want to cop that pickle merch, it's like behindthatsuit.com/store shop. I should know that better, but either way, go to behindthatsuit.com and click on the store thing. And yeah, we totally appreciate you a whole bunch. On that note, everyone, live long and prosper, everybody.